Hey guys, I am Slick77 and I am excited to bring you Total Annihilation. I've been wanting to record this game for a couple years now, and it just came out on Steam for just over $3, maybe like a week or two ago. And I just found a thing to record it called Bandicam. This game has two different window modes. This one right here is like a small window, but in-game is the biggest window that can cover up the entire screen. So, regular fraps or whatever other recordings I've found have not been able to record this. So a little bit with this game, it is, as I found out by one of my friends, Trex, is more like Command and Conquer. I've never played it, so that's like a way to describe it. You have two different teams though, only ARM and Core. How I describe these two teams is basically the KBots, like the robots that walk around, the Core tanks, in my opinion, because I feel like the Core's tanks are better and more powerful and more armored than the ARMs, and the ARMs K-Mechs are just overall better than the Core. So I'm going to show you a little bit about this game. I'm going to do the ARM campaign, A Hero Returns, on hard difficulty. Now, on every level, you have an introduction.
It was near the end of the war, and after 4,000 years, the Core Empire stood on the brink of final victory over the ARM Rebellion. ARM forces throughout the galaxy were overwhelmed by the superior numbers and firepower of the ruthless Core. Their bid for freedom nearly lost. The battered remnants of the ARM military clustered in the single star system which contained its home world, Empyreon. Empyreon too would have fallen were it not for the skill of the sole surviving ARM commander. A shrewd tactician and resourceful warrior, the commander took advantage of the system's relative isolation and was able to keep the enemy at bay. ARM troops weathered wave after wave of Core attacks, and it seemed as though they would be able to do so indefinitely. The stalemate ended when a small Core insertion team managed to slip through planetary defenses and establish the last of a chain of space-folding galactic gates which led directly to the surface of Empyreon. A decoy engagement was staged at the ARM outpost on the outer planet of Calibran in order to lure the commander away from Empyreon, leaving the planet virtually defenseless. The invasion began.
Sweet. So you always have a... If you want to hear it again because you missed something, turn it back on.
It was near the...
You can always turn it off. So each world, like this world, will show you basically what it is. Nice, lush, grassy, hilly area. And let's get into the game. Alright guys, so the first mission is the most very basic, how to control your units. And this is not even fighting people, it's just making your way up the map to this area, which is a gate. And only one of your units needs to make it. So what you do is you can either click on it, left click, or right click around. Right click to get rid of the screen. And as you can see, they have a bunch of basic attacks. Press A to attack, and you can see not a radius, but just they can attack anything, including your own units. That's to stop it. You can guard certain units and patrol the area around it. And, well, of course, attack enemies, and the maneuvering stations, hold position, maneuver, roam. Hold position is good sometimes, but just click, drag, move up, left click, and they are on their way. I kind of like the Core, the ARM units overall, but I like the Core starting to much better. Just the look of it. So that. Like, I just prefer it. The only bad thing about this game is if you have too many units on board, they start to lose focus on where to go. The drum is winning. Oh, sorry. I stopped it at the victory screen a little bit early because as it goes out of game screen, it gets smaller. So I have to readjust the Bandicam size. But after every victory, you have how many kills your team has, losses, energy produced, metal, excess energy, excess metal score. The energy and metal will be able to find out about the next map, which is core KBot base, destroy it. And every unit creates a certain amount of energy. So, as you can see with the thumbs up, we have completed a hero returns. Let us start with core KBot base. And this will be the real introduction.
Although they had managed to free the captured gate and return their commander to Empyrean, armed troops continued to weather attacks by core forces in increasing numbers. It became apparent that the core had managed to construct a KBot lab somewhere on Empyrean itself and was building an army as fast as it could.
Alright guys, let's break into it. So we have begun the ways to build a base. I'm just going to go about my usual ways and tell you about how to do it. So, the Decimated Commander, he's the primary build source for every game. This is what you start out with. You don't get any units on any other game mode except for the campaign. They'll give you some units sometimes. What I'm building now is energy farms with solar collectors. We also have wind generators, but you can't build that at the moment, along with pretty much everything else you're allowed to build. You can't. Because at early stages, they want you to get the basics down. So, the reason why I'm building 3 of these things right off the bat is because energy is much faster to produce than metal. And things take a lot more energy than they do metal. As you can see, a solar collector at the bottom, it takes 145 metal, but 760 energy. So out of 1,000, I spent 760. So with the metal extractors, you have to build it on these piles of metal, and these are actually decently big piles. Each pile is like gives you a different amount of metal. With the smallest extractors I have right now, I get plus 1.7 metal. I don't know if that's per second. I'd have to say it probably is. I know it doesn't seem like much, but based on how much metal this solar collector costed compared to energy, it's not that bad. And I have 3 to start out with. Grassy lands such as this has decent amount of metal to it. Oh, let me show you that if you build a metal extractor anywhere else besides on a pile of metal, you will get nothing. In fact, the only thing you'll get is 3 of your energy being taken up. So if you misplace by accident, press D, fire. That is the commander's special weapon, which will pretty much destroy anything, including another commander. There are upgraded mines you can put if you're like really desperate, which is still a bad idea. You can put them on the grass and they might get 0.3 metal. But as much as it costs compared to how much you get after you built it, it's not worth it at all. Apparently they see units. So what we have now with this green circle is called our field of vision. Every unit has one, every building has one. You can see it's growing as they near the edges of the map, but as you leave it starts to turn gray. You can still see that part of the map, but you can't see what's beyond it. Now I'm going to go ahead and build some units. Another important fact, especially at the beginning of the game, is repairing units that are injured, especially for a campaign, and then recovering wreckage. This is an enemy destroyed bot, and I can get 22 metal for it. Not much, but it's enough. And you can get 250 energy for the trees. You can scoop it up like that, but if you want to get rid of them, press the D gun, they'll catch on fire. They'll turn into a weathered shrub, which is now worth 50 energy instead. Do it again. Easy way to clear out space. However, forest fire is decently prevalent. So what I'm going to do is... No, let me explain this KBot lab. So all we can build right now is the KBot lab, creating these mechs. You can see we have the PV infantry bot, which is these. Then we have the hammer. Then we have Rocco. Oh, and then Jethro, anti-air. And you can also build construction units. And on different campaign, you can build this, or in skirmish mode, which is an upgraded hammer and PV mixed together. In later levels, you'll be able to get the construction bot. But I want to show you, there are 2 levels for water. I'm just going to go ahead and build a couple more guys. 2 levels for water. Your commander can walk in both. This is deep water, and this is forging water. Units can walk across. So I'm just going to scoop up some of these trees for no other reason than get them out of the way. And depending on the level of energy or metal you get, depends on how much time it takes to extract the metalware. I'm going to now build a light laser tower. It does not show you the range of its defense or of its sight, which I wish it would. I'm sure there's a mod out there that can do that for you. This costs a lot of energy, as you can see it going down. My energy stocks are getting depleted, but however, they do run out and strike at 0, as they're about to do in a second. They have a very fast recovery time. See how it bounces around? Metal cannot do that fast at all. So if you're going to run out of a resource, run out of energy. And now you can see its range, which is just barely outside of what it can see, and it'll attack, which costs energy, but decently fast, but weak attack. And I have enough energy to sustain it. I'm going to put 2 bots over here for hold position. They'll give it the sight necessary. Yep. And plus, with hold position, they will not move from this spot, and other enemies will attack the hammers, which are slower and can take more damage than they will attack the turret. And you can build as many of these as you want. You can build up until 200 units by pressing the spacebar. You can see, plus the time involved. We're almost 6 minutes into this. At the moment, Bandicam only lets me record 10 minutes at a time, as long as they're broken up, because I've yet to pay for it. Now, since I got a decent amount of units, I'm going to go scout out my land. For me, music is decently quiet, but for some reason it's loud on the game. What would be normal for me would just be like painful. Okay, there shouldn't be any more units up there. I'm just gonna go ahead and create 6 more people. There's no more metal in this land, but I know there might be some guys up here. I don't want to attack my base. The enemy has some turrets. How much damage is doing really fast? Stop using big line. These here are called radar towers. They cannot physically show you, like I can see these people in these things now on the map. But if I were to build one, on the mini map, you see these red dots showing the enemy location. I would be able to see those. And I can manually tell any towers that has the range for it to attack. See, this is why I started building more units. A couple more guys over here, which my commander destroyed. The commander can take a lot of damage. I mean a lot of damage before it blows up. However, it can only take a lot of damage from these smaller, weak units. Now, you can speed up or slow down the game by pressing the plus key and minus key for all the way to -9, which I don't know why you'd want to do that, because it looks like it's glitching out. But you can use your commander or any other construction bot to speed up construction. And if you set it to guard, which I think is G, yes it is, just whatever units are built, it'll automatically start preparing for that station. And now let's say I have a bunch of people assisting the commander with whatever buildings. If I set the commander to guard a building, those that are guarding him will also help construct whatever he builds. Very useful, especially if you have a lot of construction around. One other bad thing about this game is... Okay, I had to start and stop the recording again. The units will be confused and they will be stuck on walls, these scraps of metal, and so forth. Right now they can move it around, but if you have a lot of units that are just consistently dying in one spot, eventually it's just going to be clogged up traffic. You can go over and destroy those piles of metal though just by attacking them. Oh. Energy storage allows you to have more maximum energy. Mine's 1,200 at the moment. Attack the solar collectors. Now, I technically come over here and you don't even need to build a base. This is just some way to beat this. Now, for some reason, sometimes it seems like this game glitches out and they don't build any bots to attack for some reason. I just want to give you a general show of what this game is like and what it's about. So I'm just going to have my commander come over and cheese the and towers. This is a smaller pile of metal. This small list, sorry. The smallest pile of metal you can get. How much? 0.7? Let's see. 0.8 metal. Not all that good. But it's better to have enough. So what you can do to easily win this game is just bring the commander over and win. And so you have it, we have victory in the first real base you must build. We have 22 kills, 22 losses. We did not produce as much energy as our enemy. We produced more metal, however, and we have a slightly better score. Of course, it does not matter how good or bad a score you have, as long as you win. So, I think on the next episode we shall do spider technology. See you guys there.